All right, time for our final question on today's show. It's from Karen in Greenbrier. Karen says, I'm 45 and want to retire in 10 years. We've got $450,000 in various retirement accounts already, and I plan to max out catch-up contributions when I can. My husband thinks we should work at least till we're 60, but I think that's mostly based on fear. How do we know if it's okay to retire early? First of all, Karen, great job so far. You are on solid footing. That sounds good. $450,000 with a 10-year time horizon. And it's a great idea to be maxing out those contributions and take advantage of the catch-up contributions when you get to 50. To truly know when it's okay to retire, you have to be able to translate where your assets are going to be at your retirement date and know what kind of income that's going to provide. Will it replace your paycheck, or at least enough of your paycheck that you can meet your income needs and desires? And the only way to know that is to plan. The Ready to Retire process here at Gen Wealth illustrates what that $450,000 at age 45 will grow to by age 60, your husband's projected retirement date. And then it will show you how much monthly income you could potentially receive through retirement when incorporating all of your income sources. We need to know about Social Security. We need to know about pension, plus investments, and then work backwards to see then from there if it's okay to retire earlier than age 60. So I would say the planning process here, Tim, tells us to go, let's look at see what 60 looks like based on the trajectory you're on, and then see if it makes sense to retire earlier.
Yeah, it's a great goal to retire early, but there are a lot of different impacts that we have to consider, because if you retire much earlier than 60 and you've been putting all your money into retirement accounts, there are some limitations on how we can pull that money out and when we can pull that money out, because usually if you put it in an IRA or move it to an IRA, you can't pull that money out without a 10% penalty until age 59 and a half. Now, there are some rules that if you leave an employer and you leave that money in a 401k after the age of 55, then you can actually pull that money out without the penalty. But there are some other alternatives, but they're not all favorable in the long run. One of the other big impacts, a lot of people don't know if Social Security is going to be there. We do believe there's going to be something there, and especially us that are getting closer and closer to that day, we don't see any changes. But you being 45 right now, there might be some impacts on what Social Security looks like. And if you retire early, one of the big things, and don't want to get into too many of the details here, but your Social Security looks at your 35 highest average or years of working earnings history. And if you don't have 35 years of working history, that's definitely going to impact your Social Security when you get there. So you really have to be able to accumulate a lot of assets, and you're off to a great start at $450,000 at 45, and there's potentially a lot of growth on that. And as long as you're continuing to contribute, I think, as Scott mentioned, shooting for 60 right now. Maybe your husband is a little fearful in that, but he may tend to be on the right side here. But we, again, need to probably look at 60 and then see what's 59 look like, 58. What can we get to? And we don't know what the market's going to do between now and then. It could give us some great returns, or it could be kind of lackluster. So, again, having that target to shoot for is the first thing that we would need to do, and to see what kind of assets we would need by age 60 to see if that could work.
Yeah, and you're going to need to really consider your health care situation too. If you're going to retire before 60 or even 65, you're going to have an option for health care premiums, health insurance premiums, prior to being eligible for Medicare, which kicks in at age 65. And then past that, you have to think about how many assets you're probably going to need for health care costs, because Medicare is not going to cover everything. I read an article just this morning about the estimated cost that a couple is going to have in health care, and they said if you're currently on prescription drugs, that you could expect to spend out-of-pocket $300,000+ through the course of your lifetime from age 65 on. So healthcare has to be a key consideration. And then two, I would also work on, as a part of this plan, if we were putting it together for you, Karen, eliminating your debt, if there is debt, if there is a mortgage, to minimize what kind of income you would need prior to retirement.
And oftentimes, whether it's retiring at 55 or 65, we want to make sure that you kind of have a plan for what you're going to do with your time.
Yep.
And so, working part-time may be something that's going to be something you enjoy, making quite a bit less than probably what you're doing today, can also fill the gap between what you're going to have to take from your investments and what you would like on a monthly basis for your income.
Great questions today from Rachel, from Lee, from Patrick, and from Karen. We thank you for sending those in. And if you have questions for us, we'll tell you at the end of the show how to get them to us, because we want to answer them. But right now you hear the bell in the background. It's time for final thoughts, and Tim, we'll start with you.
Well, I think that we kind of go back to almost every question we ever get. It seems like, it goes back to we need a plan. And that's something that we love to put together for our clients and to work out for our clients. And we can ask all the questions and get the answers from you on what you would like to do. But one of the great things I think right now is what we're being able to do is getting back into the workshops and being able to get out and put those on, provide free education to anyone that wants to come to those and have a free dinner. But just meeting with our clients, meeting with prospects that would come to those and be able to provide that education for them.
So that leads me right into mine.
There you go.
That's what you were trying to do, wasn't
Absolutely.
it? Man, you're setting me up.
Trying to get better.
All right, so those two events that are coming up, couple opportunities for you to join us at an in-person Gen Wealth Academy workshop. We've got 3 keys to retirement income planning. That's coming up very soon, so you're going to need to sign up because space is limited. May 7th at 6:30 at the Chenal event venue in Little Rock. We've been talking a lot about retirement income planning on today's show. It's what we do every day here at Gen Wealth Financial Advisors, and we've got 3 keys to consider when it comes to retirement income planning. If you're close to retirement, 5-10 years away, you're going to want to be a part of this workshop. And again, we're not there to sell you anything. It's all education-based. And then the other opportunity to join us is how to maximize your Social Security. That's coming up May 14th at 6:30 at the El Dorado Conference Center. Social Security is such a big part of your retirement income planning. So making the right decisions on how to claim your benefit, when to claim your benefit, especially if there's if 2 of you involved, if there's spouses that have to claim. That's a great opportunity to learn more about that. You can visit getreadyforthefuture.com/academy to learn more. And that is all the time we have for this week's show. A reminder, if you want to get a question to us, the number to call or text is 501-381-5228. You can also send us an email, show@getreadyforthefuture.com. See you next week.